Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise, and gentlemen, remove your caps for the playing of the national anthem. Congratulations, class of 2015. On behalf of the Port Huron Area School District, Northern High School, and the class of 2015, I welcome you to our 50th commencement ceremony. Parents, grandparents, siblings, and friends, you should be very proud this evening. Let's give another round of applause to the graduates. Before we continue, I must share two requests from the graduates this year. First, the graduates would like every name of the classmates read tonight to be heard by all. They ask that you respectfully honor their request by holding your applause until all the names are read and refraining from any noise making that may prevent a family member from hearing the name of their graduate here this evening. Their second request that you take a moment for them to thank you, their family and friends. Seniors, please give all your guests, the people who helped you get here today, a round of applause. As I mentioned, this is the 50th commencement at Northern High School. I am guessing that there are many Northern graduates in the crowd tonight. I ask that the Northern alumni please stand. A special thank you to these people for attending tonight's events. I hope that you will enjoy this evening with a little extra Northern pride as you watch the class of 2015 take the next big step in your lives, just as you did right here in this arena. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Jamie Kane, Superintendent of Port Huron Schools, who will introduce tonight's speaker.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a wonderful evening to celebrate graduates. Again, congratulations. Incredibly proud of you. It's my pleasure to recognize the Port Huron Northern Class of 2015. Graduates, take a moment to contemplate how you arrived at this moment. Remember the help that your parents gave and the sacrifices that they made for you to be here tonight. Spare a thought of gratitude for the teachers who are willing to explain things just one more time. Be thankful for the friendships that you've made, the life lessons that you've learned, and all the experiences you had, the good as well as the bad, for they've shaped who you are today. As you prepare to rise tonight and receive your diploma, let your accomplishments and your great potential guide you down the aisle towards the stage, and realize that you're not just heading towards your high school graduation, you're stepping into your future. Now is the time to dare. Dare to jump into your future with enthusiasm. Dare to place no limits on what you hope to accomplish. Dare to dream big and realize that it's not just a cliche. Dare to bring excellence to everything that you do. Push beyond ordinary, strive for the extraordinary, and remember it's ordinary people that do extraordinary things every day. Our world is full of countless examples of this. Don't settle for fitting in or just getting by. It will never get you anywhere of substance or meaning. Graduates, we are proud of you, we believe in you, and we look forward with hope and anticipation of how you will shape our world. And at this time, it is my honor to introduce Mr. Jack Foster, who will give this year's keynote address. Jack was born, raised, and educated in Port Huron, Michigan. He's a 1967 graduate of Port Huron Northern, 48 years ago. In 1967, he received the Fred Vinson Award for the best football player / scholar athlete in the entire Blue Water area. He earned his bachelor's degree from Oakland University, his master's degree from Michigan State University, and an MBA from the University of Michigan. Mr. Foster is a retired human resource executive from ExxonMobil, responsible for HR activities in Malaysia, Thailand, Southeast Asia, Chad, Cameroon, and Angola in Africa. He's married to his wife, Janet. They have 2 children, Jean, who lives in Washington, D.C., and Dave, who resides in Los Angeles. Mr. Foster has volunteered at Northern for many years, and through the volunteer efforts, arranged for numerous financial grants from ExxonMobil to Port Huron Northern. He returned in 2004, and I think all of us can be thankful and happy that he did, to continue to give back to the school and the community that he loves so much. Jack and Janet provide scholarship assistance to a former Port Huron Northern graduate who otherwise may not have been able to attend his university of choice. What I think is astounding to point out is it's not just somewhat assistance. They provide a full ride, tuition, everything for this student to achieve their dreams. Jack and Janet are avid supporters and attendees in all of Port Huron Northern's activities, from sports to drama to band and to choir. And I know that you'll join with me in giving him a wonderful response as I present to you Mr. Jack Foster.
Hi everyone, welcome. Jamie, you forgot to mention the walk on water part. Well, now that you know you don't have a comedian, I guess we'll get down to the business. Hi everyone, welcome, glad you're here. First things first, I'd like to give another big shout out and special thanks to all the parents, grandparents, and significant others who've made it possible for their seniors to be here tonight. Seniors, join me in giving your folks a big hand. Tom Wilson and Chris Houle, the senior class faculty advisors, thanks for asking me to speak tonight. As they know, I was shocked, I was humbled, and I was happy. I'd also like to thank a group of seniors who met with me to give me some advice on what to say and not say tonight, advice which I in fact took into account. So thanks to Maggie Batchelor, Tala Hadar, Matt Thomas, Clay Wilson, and Owen Jones. Stand up, guys. Seniors, give your classmates some love with some applause. Yeah, all right. No, stay up, guys, stay up, stay up. Everybody, I want you to take a look at these guys. Now you know what they look like. If this thing goes south, you know who to blame. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. Thanks, guys. I can't begin to tell you what an honor it is to go from 48 years ago, sitting out there waiting to graduate, to standing up here tonight. Or better yet, walking through the doors 50 years ago last January when Northern started classes. Please raise your hands if you're among those who started at Northern 50 years ago. Yeah, not too many, but let's put our hands together for this group of inaugural students. Chip Mossett and all the Northern faculty and staff, hats off for the first-rate job you've done in helping the soon-to-be graduates and many others over your tenure get to the next chapter in their lives. As my career took me around the globe, I had a chance to get a first-hand look at some of the best international high schools in the world. And I can assure you, seniors and parents, that the educational support and resources we have at Northern compared favorably with the best that I saw. A few comments about me. As you heard, I was born and raised in Port Huron. I attended Fillmore Elementary School. Any Fillmore alums out there, raise your hand. You have to have been around for a while to be in that group. For those of you who don't know, Fillmore was kitty corner from Gratiot Park and was torn down many years ago to make way for housing. From Fillmore, I went on to Garfield Middle School. Now, back in the day, Garfield was in fact a middle school, grades K through 8, as opposed to what it is today. And then I went on to Northern, graduating in 1967. Then, probably like many of you seniors, I couldn't wait to leave. Seniors, give me a show of hands and a big shout out if you can't wait to leave. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Well, I did leave Port Huron and continued my education with a bachelor's and 2 master's degrees. After completing my second master's, an MBA from Michigan, I began a career with ExxonMobil, serving in numerous positions at several locations in the US and around the world. I was fortunate enough to have visited or worked in all 7 continents. This was beyond my wildest dreams 48 years ago when I was sitting out there like you. At that point in time, I think I traveled on a plane once in my life, and north of Craft Road might as well have been China to me. That was my world, but my parents encouraged me to work and study hard and go wherever those efforts took me. If it weren't for the support and encouragement of my parents, my mother-in-law, my wife, and 2 kids, there's no way I'd be up here tonight. In fact, my mom, Lois, and my wife, Janet, are here tonight. Thanks, guys. Love you. "11 years ago, Janet and I retired and moved back to Port Huron to be close to our moms. Beginning then, I started volunteering my time at Northern. Initially, I helped coach football, but after a few years, concluded that the fall was the best time for Janet and I to travel. Since then, we generally travel in the fall, and when we're in town, I continue to volunteer as a hall monitor and offer career guidance as part of career panels that Northern has hosted for all the juniors. So, in 48 years, I've come full circle. I went from can't wait to leave Port Huron to couldn't be happier to be back. Jamie mentioned that Janet and I help a former Northern grad with college costs. Like us, you might be in a position someday to give back and help someone who really needs help. Think about it. You'll not only be helping that person, but also doing something that both Janet and I will tell you from personal experience is extremely fulfilling. As what I think is an interesting aside to a story of giving back, which is worth recounting, I'm going to digress a bit with a short story. It goes something like this. When I was working in New Jersey at ExxonMobil's international headquarters, I would have lunch pretty much every day with the same group of folks. One of these coworkers was a production engineer by the name of Mike. Mike mentioned that his son had graduated from college a few years earlier and was thinking about starting up a business and was looking for investors to help him with startup costs. He asked us if his son could talk to us. Everyone agreed, and Mike brought his son in one day to review his business plan and see if anyone would be interested in helping him fund the startup. The kid had a really engaging personality and what seemed to be a very good, carefully conceived business plan. I thought about it for a while, but at that point I was a young guy, I had 2 young kids. I figured I could put my money to better use than investing in something that may never get off the ground. I'll skip to the end of the story. The kid's name was Jeff Bezos. The startup business was Amazon, and the rest is history. That kind of sums up who I am and where I've been. In my brief comments to you tonight, I'll talk about 4 things I wish I knew when I was 17 that I've learned along the way, and in many ways I'm still learning. What comes to mind first, and what has taken me a long time to assimilate, in which I'm still learning, is how to deal with failure and adversity. More often than not, commencement speakers will deliver "the sky's the limit, success will follow you wherever you go" messages. When I was 17, I thought I was bulletproof and destined for a lifetime of unbridled success. I didn't realize that, like batters in baseball, I would probably fail more often than I succeeded. For example, after having been nearly a 4-point student at Northern, my first college assignment was returned with a grade of D+. That's D, not B. D+. I was devastated. Could I make it in college? I wasn't prepared to deal with failure. What I learned, and I'm continuing to learn to this day, is that when I failed, it wasn't all over. I had to figure out what went wrong, make adjustments, and take a different approach the next time I had the chance. It sounds simple, but it usually eventually works. The key is not if, but when you fall down, pick yourself up, assess the situation, and try not to make the same mistake again. Remember that generally, after you've failed, be it on a school project, work assignment, or in a relationship with a significant other, you can't behave the same way and expect different results. So stay flexible, continually adjust, and eventually your failure may be transformed to a success. The second thing I wish I'd understood at 17 is what you major in if you're headed to college, or the field that you're thinking about going into does matter. As a kid growing up, my parents encouraged me to continue my education after high school. With the best of intentions, they advised me to go to college, any college, get a degree. It doesn't matter what the degree is in, just get the degree. 48 years later, I know it can really matter what your degree is in and where you got it from. The buzz phrase today is follow your passion. If you truly have a passion, that's fantastic advice. For many of us who think we have a passion, that passion may change. With me, for example, I went to college hoping to be a star Division I football player. That dream quickly faded as I learned I couldn't balance the time commitment that required with the time commitment required to get a good education with top grades. So I dropped football, even changed majors a few times along the way, until I landed on what would lead me to my career with ExxonMobil. You may also be faced with similar changes of passion along your journey. If you are, or if you don't necessarily have a passion, I'd strongly urge you to think about science, technology, engineering, math, business administration, or medical fields, all of which can offer fulfilling, stable, sustainable, well-compensated careers. The takeaway here is that your college major and chosen field do matter, so choose carefully at those junctures where you may have the opportunity to choose. The third thing I've come to better appreciate over the last 48 years is that in the end, no one cares where you came from or how much money you made, only who you really are and how you treat others. My son reminded me in a Father's Day card last year that this is something that I drilled into him over and over again over the years. Let me give you an example of what I mean here. As a recent MBA grad, I accepted a position with ExxonMobil's Latin American headquarters in Coral Gables, Florida. Janet and I moved to Coral Gables, and I began my career as an HR analyst. Sometime in the first year, I was asked to give a presentation to the president of ExxonMobil Latin America. This guy was a big deal, many, many levels higher than me, and many levels higher than at that time I could ever imagine achieving. I was a low-level analyst having to give a presentation to the ExxonMobil god of Latin America. As I began my presentation, my voice was quivering, my hands were shaking. Recognizing this, Herman, his name was Herman Salazar, tried to put me at ease with small talk. Eventually, I got more comfortable and finished the presentation. As I was leaving, Herman asked me what I had on tap for the evening. I mentioned that Janet and I were celebrating our anniversary and we're going out for dinner, to which he wished me a happy anniversary, and I left. I arrived home that night after work to find a dozen red roses with a note attached. Jack and Janet, have a happy anniversary. Regards, Herman Salazar. This is an example of an important person with all the trappings of success treating a young kid, me, as he would the president of the corporation. I've never forgotten that act of kindness and try to emulate it whenever I can. It demonstrated to me that no matter how important or wealthy you may be, you're a human being who puts your pants on one leg at a time, like everyone else, and that you should treat everyone equally well, with the emphasis on not just equally, but treat everyone equally well, regardless of their station in life. And finally, my fourth learning comes from the words of the Kenny Rogers song, The Gambler, about a poker player, which goes something like this. You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, and know when to run. With that, I'm gonna run before I get run out of here. Seniors, all the very best. Godspeed. Go Huskies. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Foster. Great job. At this time, I would like to present to you the senior class song, I Go Back, by Kenny Chesney. The seniors have also put together a 50-year tribute song comprised of class songs from Northern's past. From 2005, Times Like These by the Foo Fighters. From 1995, The River by Garth Brooks. From 1985, We're Going All the Way by Jeffrey Osborne. From 1975, Free Bird by Leonard Skinner. The arrangement by Dan Israel. Vocals, Alexandra Evenson, Audrey Hartson, and Daniel Israel. Accompaniment, Kate Ahern, Frank Brett Schneider, Megan Burns, Gabrielle Bynum, Christy Crotto, Alexandra Evenson, Michael Haas, Audrey Hartson, Jacob Haynes, Daniel Israel, Youssef Kunji, Cassidy Livingston, Raquel Overholt, and Darren Taylor.
I go back to a two-tone short bed Chevy, driving my first love out to the levee, living life with no sense of time. And I go back to the feel of a 50-yard line, a blanket, a girl, some lemon and lime, wishing time would stop right in its tracks. Every time I hear that song, I go back. Back to a two-tone short bed Chevy, driving my first love out to the levee, living life with no sense of time. And I go back to the feel of a 50-yard line, a blanket, a girl, some lemon and lime, wishing time would stop right in its tracks. Every time I hear that song, I go back. I go back.
shining. I'm white like lightning, bright, burning off the night. Ah, it's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time again.
Changing as it flows, and a dreamer's just a vessel that must follow where it goes, trying to learn from what's behind you, and never knowing what's in store makes each day a constant battle just to stay between the shores. And I will sail my vessel to the river unstrung, like a bird upon the wind. These waters are my sky. I'll never reach my destination if I never try. So I will sail my vessel to the river unstrung. We're going all the way. We're headed for forever, and that's where we're gonna stay. The more you give, the more I know it. You got it all here if you just don't blow it. We're going all the way. The two of us both want it. I'll lay my money on it, starting today. We're going all the way. We're going all the way. If the two of us both want it, I'll lay my money on it, starting today. We're going all the way.
Great job to all the students who performed tonight. Thank you. Seated alongside of the arena this evening is the incredible staff of Port Huron Northern High School who have played such a vital role in each graduate's success over the last 4 years. Please give these dedicated individuals a round of applause. We are very fortunate to have members of the Port Huron Area School District Board of Education with us here tonight. Seated on stage with us are President Jeff Stout, Vice President Rasha Damashki, Treasurer Garth Krewall, Secretary Ann Murphy, Trustees Haley Alderman and Rhonda Ryan. Thank you all for being here tonight and for your commitment to the students of the Port Huron Area School District. Now, as we move on to the moment you have all come here to enjoy, I ask you once again to honor the graduates' request and hold your applause until all the names are read. Now, I would like to introduce to you two individuals who have dedicated themselves to the students of the class of 2015, the senior class advisors, Chris Houle and Tom Wilson.
Tala Ali Haydar. Sarah Joy Vanderhavel. Matthew Hill Thomas. Margaret Ann Batchelor. Yusuf Matar Hassan Kunji. Alex Patrick Napolitan.
Clay Thomas Wilson.
Nicholas Tyler Hill. Michael Gregory McDonald. Hunter Thomas Austin. Bailey John Paulus. Brenna McCormick Murphy. Riley Ann Falco. Marie Therese Malali. Caitlin Ann Gillespie. Emma Christine Rapp. Rebecca Jade Richards. Anuja Amit Nandi. Emma Rose Prax. Chelsea Marie Granger. Ashlyn Ann Savarine. Caitlin Jacinto Sanchez. Diamond May Sheffer. Audrey May Hartson. Nathan William Wilson. Varun Dave Nandamudi. Owen Robert Jones. Dalton James McKinstry. Eric Cameron Land. Frank Paul Brettschneider. Daniel Alexander Israel. Edward Paul Urban. Caitlin Rose Johnson. Gabrielle Ann Bynum. Allison Christine Raditz. Samantha Monique Mills. Jessica Elaine Ankley. Alexandra Gabrielle Evenson, Megan Elaine Burns, Hannah Lee Weaver, Kelsey Ann Alexander, Lindsay Nicole King, Ilana Christian, Alpana Amit Nandi, Lexis Lynette Motox, Jessica Marie Nixon, Christy Marie Crato, Jewel Danielle Fenner, Braden Antoine Houle, Ryan William Hunt, Evan Christopher Gierman, Anthony James Heilman, Darren Russell Tenbush, Jacob Frederick Haynes, Nathaniel Lee Reynolds, Russell David Tenbush, Alexis Camry Jean Williams, Daniel Diamond Delano, Desiree Christine Raditz, Olivia Catherine Reinhard, Samantha Lynn Herman, Lottie Rolha Schmidt, Taylor Catherine Markolevitz, Caitlin Ann Prater, Brittany Nicole Bowers, Jocelyn Marie Gierman, Hannah Suzanne Bastian, Hannah Rose Stevens, Amanda Ray Haynes, Courtney Ann Condlin, Catherine Teresa Stevens, Caitlin Jean Condlin, Travis Keith Allen Sparks, Jared Elijah Pettengill, Austin Taylor Stevens, Austin Danielle Roach, Matthew Thomas Hill, Jonathan Matthew Hooker, Artez Raphael Hadley, Zachary Douglas Kane, Elena Corin Kosis, Casey Nicole Nuss, Riley Joe Snowden, Jacqueline Marie Miller, Desiree Latay Jemison, Delaney Renee Barr, Hope Jillian McNames, Melissa Ann Talaski, Catherine Elizabeth Koppel, Exandria Lynn Ricks, Casey Hunter Holliday, Catherine Ann Brooks, Aubrey Faye Belinsky, Kimberly Danielle Duncan, Riley Lynn Richards, Amanda Joyce Whalen, Paul Christian Schultz, Dylan David Mayhew, Damian Joseph Walker, Vincent Savon Hall, Stephen Todd Dolinsky, Colin Craig Burns, Bradley Cole Mallory, Heaven Lejoy Powell, Gabrielle Elizabeth Randall, Kristen Maria Komenek McMath, Alyssa Paige Robinson, Natalie Christiana Lotz, Carly Ray Lewis, Mariah DeJesus Sorrow, Jordan Jade Palmer McDonald, Emily Elizabeth Tadero, Monique Monet Sanchez, Darcy Ann Summerer, Dakota Marie Huffman, Sierra Rose Slobodecki, Kara Ann Fuller, Jenna Lee McIntyre, Caitlin Nicole Randolph, Kyle Robert Birch, Garrett Scott Corey, Peyton James Sheeman, Thomas Wade Tweedy, Christian Cork, Brendan Ryan Shagney, Timothy Douglas Tramsky, Isaac Wayne Markopoulos, Chloe Elizabeth Bird Little, Olivia Marie Seeley, Morgan Elise Pojecki, Laura Jean Elizabeth Ayat, Emily Marie Hanan, Jacqueline Amanda Roussel, Brianna Delval, Krista Marie Sharp, Sydney Marie Essenmacher, Darren Kathleen Taylor, Haley Michelle Roberts.
Sydney Ray Westfall, Amber Ray Ivana Smith, Angel Christine Nutt, Kayla Marie Kingsbury, Brianna Lynn Tepe, Cullen Edward Nesbitt, Carter John Schwartz, Jacob Nathaniel Potrikas, Austin Daniel Richardson, Edward Charles Gibson, Michael Chad Gibson, Robert John Lane Jr., Clinton Jonas Massey, Carly Allison Cohen, Cassidy Joanna Livingston, Hannah Gabrielle Eastman, Samantha Jo Sepsi, Jessica Renee Kent, Haley Marie Moore, Caitlin Marie Ahern, Haley Starr Groff, Leandra Culver Mill, Cheyenne Summer Newsom, Paris Jasmine Williams, Courtney Ann Gilbo, Elena Cameron Wynn, Caitlin Sue Savarine, Alexis Andrea Halsey, Sierra Marie Davis, Zachary Adam Birch, Joshua Brandon Harvey, Nolan Nikolai Richards, Dawson Troy DeBell, Justin Michael Laseth, Curtis Lee Talmadge, Thomas Martin Lewandowski, Michael Norman Barra, Jalen Judianne Buckley, Chantel May Poirier, Catherine Patricia Hollingsworth, Jacqueline Elise Scheibel, Mackenzie May Shell, Demetria Irene Chanel Cosby, Alexandra Christine Jackson, Aria Danae Shrenzak, Sierra Nicole Pauley, Destiny Marie Jekyll, Hannah Mae Woodruff, Catherine Danielle Forsgren, Francesca Ann Basha, Carrie Ann Sparling, Lauren Jane Osgood, Alexis Nicole Fleet, Mason Edward McPherson, Ethan Thomas Booms, Zachary Paul Summers, Aaron Michael Tuttle, Grover Cosmos Cox, Thomas Maxwell Lees, William Holt Wimbury III, Edward Joseph Amen, Brianna Marie Morrison, McKenna Cameron Cura, Tatiana Patricia Alukta, Courtney Elizabeth Curtis, Taylor Marie Romaine, Haley Catherine Curtis, Lindsay Nicole Yarger, Chelsea Marie Gates, Alyssa Nicole Irvine, Danielle Virginia Duckworth, Tricia Elizabeth Parker, Georgiana Dominique Padilla, Michaela Rose Kish, Amy Marie Raz, Kaylee Marin Kerrigan, Raquel Emily Overholt, Robert Danielle Bayless, Zachary Miles Darhauer, Brannon M. Dortman, Keaton Thomas Sprotberry, Lacey L. Harris, Sabrina Rose Dunlop, Kellen Teresa Cansfield, Tabitha Jerry Lynn Day, Ariana Troudy Archer, Olivia Leslie Bell, Michael Scott Haas, Joshua Frederick Height, Marquise Douglas Wheeler, Mitchell William Noth, Trey Lyle Thorpe, Cody William Baum, Patrick Henry Rush, Ladarius Don Irvin, Sky Michael Curtis, Brandon Lee Leal, Michael Brian Filer, Alejandro Gonzalez Porcayo, Joshua Karasevich, Brandon Lee Noe, Jacob Douglas Schott, Spencer Thomas Vassbinder, Jace Russell Bennert, Dallas Parker Chacon, Brennan O'Leary Neaton, Adrian George Morogi, Jordan Matthew Ray Killian, William Jacob Williams, Bradley Roy Dresser, Tanton Robert Elliott, Daniel George Shudlick, Brett Case Duman, Brandon Matthew Knowles, Luke Jonathan Scahill, Jeffrey Garrett Kelly, Jacob Aaron Melberg, Garrett Marshall Nesbitt, James Lee Carruthers, Cody Reno Gilbert Halverson, Nicholas Joseph Vranish, Avery Lawrence McDonald, Ryan Thomas Jolly, Michael Charles Weaver, Jason Michael Foster, Juho Anolave Virtanen,
Our senior choir members will now present America the Beautiful. Thank you to the vocalist and to Director Carly Van Dyke. Great job. Will the class of 2015 please stand? You may now move your tassels. You are graduates of Port Huron Northern High School.